I kind of swear by something which is called, feet to the ground and eyes to the sky, which means embrace humility but be ambitious, because there is no other alternate. We have to be grounded, but we have to aim high.
Hello and welcome back to podcast series Celebrating Her Victories by Anderson. And today we are here in conversation with CA Babita Ganeriwala, who is the Chief Financial Officer at Tractable NG. And before Tractable, she has been synced with various international consulting firms, including PwC, EY, and KPMG. She carries a diversified experience across various industries, and today she'll here to share with us her knowledge and her victories as how she has grown from her career in a very nascent stage to today where she is today. So thank you, Babita, for being here with me today on the conversation. And I'm really privileged and honored to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Anurag. Happy to be here. And it's a great opportunity to be having this chat.
So, Babita, you have been into consulting and you are now leading the industry from the forefront. Everybody want to understand what is the core difference between consulting and industry.
Well, if you ask me, there isn't any difference. It is always about client service. It could be an external client service or an internal client service, right? So mine is a very nice blend, I would say. I was in accounting and advisory firms. So I've worked with all the big fours except Deloitte. So that is like a fun fact in my career. However, now I am in Tractable, which is part of NG Group, and they are in engineering consulting. So it's still consulting, but a very nice blend of how I have diversed, from big fours to a company which is now in renewable energy, and is driving its efforts towards sustainability.
I think that's very interesting to hear about the world sustainability because the whole world is moving towards that, and I think the sustainability things is towards a futuristic model for entire world to come. But one thing that I want to understand from you is that, see, in consulting, when we are into consulting, we meet different sort of clients. We never sit on one particular seat out there. The clients are always demanding whether it's day or whether it's night. You are always on the go. So when you come into industry, is the culture remain the same? Your stakeholders are as demanding as you were then consulting, or is slightly different?
Well, I would say it's a bit different. So, how it works, or at least how I think it to be, is when you are in consulting, or rather, when you begin your career in consulting, it sharpens your skills. Especially when you are young, you want diverse things, you want different things. So, it breaks the monotony because you are jumping from one client to another. You are trying to understand different businesses. So, it keeps you going and it keeps you thrilled. That's what I feel. But as you progress towards an industry, I think the more and more we grow up the ladder, it is important to understand the business very well. So I think it's a great transcend to have a good variety of knowledge in terms of different businesses, while having your leadership position in a company where you are focused on one goal, one vision, one mission, and thereafter you can understand the core of the business more and more so that you can support your business.
I think that's very rightly said that, because when at leadership level, you not need to understand your only business, but you have insight across multiple businesses. I mean, through the client relations that you had in the past, I think that leverage, that knowledge leverage is really, really something commendable. And I think it helps. So at leadership level, when you look into as a CFO, what are the core things that you do? Do you focus on accounting more? Do you focus on finance more? Or as a CFO, your role encompass various other functions, including procurement, IT, which is like nowadays core. And how do you manage these roles basically?
Well, there is no formula to start with. However, I think I prioritize ruthlessly. For me, the only way to achieve what I want to achieve is to focus on the tasks that move the needles, right? So whether it is personally or professionally, that's one thing that I do. I do wear different hats, but I also count on, the great team that I have. So I have an invaluable support both at home and at work. So I count on them a lot. I kind of focus more on the team that I built, because I believe that's I'm as good as my team. So I cannot do everything, and I know it. So my focus is more and more on budding on the budding individuals that I kind of mentor every single day, and that I believe is my power.
I think that's a very important area that you touch with. Is that many times we hear that a very small slogan that if you play solo, you're gonna lose the battle, and if you're playing as a team, definitely you have a strength and you win over a lot of doubts, and you win over a lot of situations, because some other person in your team will have a different skill set to combat that particular challenge. And you rightly said, and you touch with also important area from a perspective that you look into various functions, and every single function within the organization has its own ask. So prioritization of that ask is obviously one of the mastering skill that as a leader one should possess, right? So how do you manage both home and your business together? Because I'm sure, like, when you are at leadership role, you are required at any point in time during the day or even off working hours, and at home also you're equally required, being a mother, and being a wife. You're always, so how do you manage both the situations? So
Well, as I said, there is no perfect formula. I think one should do what works the best for them. If you ask me, what I do is try to at least plan the days accordingly, depending upon what needs my attention the best. But as I said, I have invaluable support in terms of mentors, leaders, and the team at the workplace, and then a very supportive partner at home. So I think all in combination culminates itself into a professional and individual like me that I am today. So I kind of owe a lot, as I said, to people around me, to people, to my sponsors, to my allies, to my mentors who have helped me advance my career. So these guys have helped throughout. Of course, my determination was there, my persistence was continuously there. But when you see that, I mean, how I should say it is more about what you want to do first. And every time knowing that what you want to do first helps you. So there is no perfect balance that a 9 to 5 job, I'm going to work in this window while I'm going to be at home in this window. Yes, you can set some calendar for yourself, but it doesn't always hold true, right? So I think it is just about what you enjoy. So I think I enjoy a good combination of both my personal life and my life at work. I don't dread getting up in the morning and going to work. It's something that I'm thrilled about. I don't remember having Monday blues, as people call it. I don't remember having it for a very long time.
but important aspect you touch is about at early stage, the work life balance. Many times I hear that people expectation is that in their mindset is that I'm sitting on a couch and just putting that cucumbers on my eyes and lay down on a couch and relax out there. I don't believe that this kind of thing exists anywhere. For me, the work-life balance essentially mean that somebody can prioritize their task and do the justice with both the front, because ultimately all what you're trying to achieve is your aspirations. And if your aspiration is not passionate enough to drive you towards what you really want it to be, then I think that there'll be hurdles, right?
Well, success is not easy. Let's get it. Success is, I would say, sheer discipline, a good amount of persistence, breaking the boundaries, or rather pushing the boundaries and breaking the monotony. So the one who thinks that it comes easy, at least I think it doesn't come to them. And it's fine to be happy with that situation. But the one who knows that they want to achieve a certain level, they have to work hard. So for me, I have of course heard a lot of theories that people work smart and it is fine. It could be true, but for me, I think there is no alternate to your persistence and determination and resilience.
I think that's very rightly articulated way of saying things, because there's no shortcut to hard work. I
Yeah.
mean, hard work is, if you do hard work, then only you become smart in doing whatever hard that you was working upon, because you can improve your performance every day and day out by finding out what's the right
Yeah.
for things out there. But then there's no shortcut to hard work. But people often believe that when they look into they starting the career, they always believe that as a CFO you reach there so easily, and all what you need to do, given the task, given the instructions, and see the certain reports out there, point out fingers, ki, look, this is not right, this is not right, this is not going right way, and you always have something to say. So at nascent stage, people believe that, oh, you are CFO and that's why you're saying that. Do you had certain challenges while you reach up to this ladder?
Well, I would say that I was certainly an article assistant one day. I was certainly an associate one day. So I was not born as a CFO, right? Uh, One thing that, stayed with me, as I would say, is achieving results. I mean, if I look back even 15 years back, I was always, of course, at that time, it was more about individual excellence, but it was always about delivering results. It was always about working hard and trying to make it. So I think that stayed with me. I think in our last 15 minutes of discussion, as I would say, I've continuously talked about resilience because that is something which is my core. So maybe not a lot of people know about it. So my resilience has been constant, but my profile has really changed and evolved a lot. I started my career in audit. I have done different roles in compliance, in risk, and now I'm heading a finance function. And it's not only finance, but rather I am wearing different hats in IT, in procurement, in internal control. So I have done a lot of things which could not have been done because profiles do not evolve so much with ease. There is a lot of hard work that goes into it, but I think what continuously stays with you is commitment. You have to know that you have to make it, and then you will make it.
I think that's a very well said point. I think a lot of people will listen to this, and I think they will get inspired and understand that the success is a journey, and journey has its own phases. You need to pass through those phases in order to really reach the ladder where exactly you want it to be. So Babita, one more question before we end the session out there. As a woman, there's a lot of women who are probably like taking a career break because of various reasons at their home and their situations, and they want to come back many point in time, and there may be certain women who are starting their career at this point in time. What is the one piece of advice that you want to give it to them, considering you have seen the journey across various advisory roles, and now in the industry as well. You have been happening working along with board, and you are working along with a lot of stakeholders and expectators in the past. What is the one piece of advice you want to give it to them?
Well, my advices are generally not different, based on gender. But because we start talking about gender, it becomes a crucial topic. And I'm, happy that I have an opportunity to share my thought process on this whole thing. I still believe that there are systemic barriers and unconscious bias when we start talking about, gender mix at the workplace. But I think I'm very optimistic because we are, I think, getting there to achieve the equilibrium that we want to achieve, right? I'm part of an organization which has a 50-50 goal, towards the end of 2030, which means we want to have 50% women and 50% men. It's difficult, but and it's difficult more because of the legacy issue, because there were not a lot of women in the workforce. So it will take certain amount of time to be able to achieve that kind of gender parity. So for me, I don't talk about a lot what women should do differently, but yes, I understand that because of the physiological changes, as I would say, the things are different between men and women. So my advice, as I would say, to everybody out there, especially women, please dream big, because that's the only way you can live bigger. And I don't know if you have heard from me before, I kind of swear by something which is called, feet to the ground and eyes to the sky, which means embrace humility, but be ambitious, because there is no other alternate. We have to be grounded, but we have to aim high.
I think that's a so powerful thought actually, and I think if one start along with these kind of thoughts, sky is the limit, and not even sky is the limit, because ultimately the limit is set by you. So I don't believe that there's any limit for somebody to grow beyond certain norms and means and breaking through, barriers. Uh, you know, so Babita, thank you so much, for this conversation. I think it sets a lot of, it creates a lot of things for people to pursue and look and aim high towards their career. Thank you so much for being here with me on the show. I really enjoyed our conversation thoroughly, and really, really appreciable.
Thank you, Anurag. It's a great opportunity. I think even if it makes difference or an impact on even one life, I think it is worth it.
That's what we are aiming towards. Like, the people get inspired, they find their career, they find their path, because you touch a very important point out as well, that mentors play a significant role. So today in this conversation, what I'm trying to do is like try to get a lot of knowledge and experience as a mentor from you, so that our people, our generations ahead, our millennials who are aiming high, they're going to start their startups or any ideation, if they can take a bit and pieces from our conversation and they try to build something extraordinary, I think will serve our purpose.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we have to follow, our passion and purpose. We have to embrace positivity, embrace perseverance, and that's the only way to go about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.